Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Monday, July 15th. So I thought today we spend a little bit of time on kind of like the total disconnect that seems to be playing out and without getting political, all right? So stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and yes, this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today's Monday. Get up, guys. Whoever has to go to work. So, what do I mean by the total disconnect and keeping it non-political? Amos, I caught your comment, and when I woke up Saturday morning to get ready to go to take the kids fishing, my wife was watching TV. She glued to it. I said, "What's going on?" So she told me, "Why is this taking place?" And it has nothing to do with guns. Rule that out. Gun can't shoot somebody by themselves. I'm thrilled that Trump is doing well, and I'm saddened that we lost a 20-year-old person that just, I want to know what's going on in their mind to feel that they have to do that. That's kind of their last hurrah or something. And then also the victims that were in the crowd. This is where you're going to hear from both sides. One's going to holler more gun control, and the other one's going to holler, less. And the biggest thing that I've seen over the past 10, 15 years with technology, the advancement of technology, is that people are not talking anymore. People are not communicating with each other anymore. And if you're different, then somehow you can't be associated with. Where growing up, and even into my 30s and 40s, people, you know, we grew up with, if you disagree with me, that's fine. And sometimes, you know, let's just agree to disagree and move on and still be friends. Not because you think this way, you can't be my friend anymore. But why? What does it all go back to? It goes back to technology and the advancement of technology. Kids are spending too much time on phones. They don't talk to each other anymore. They have, their social media accounts, especially Snapchat for the younger ones. And they're waiting for just someone to say something nice or like or, and they're living on the edge. Same thing with YouTube for the little older crowd. That's what they're doing. Like with this channel here. Do I follow and see people liking or disliking? Yeah. Yeah. Because that kind of gives me an idea of what topics are better than others, and why I shouldn't spend too much more time on certain topics and where I should spend more time because I'm trying to find out the likes and dislikes of the group. And hopefully, you know, anyone, what your political party is, what you feel, in society, come here and feel welcomed. All right, that's the goal. I don't care who you are or where you're from. You're welcome to join the channel and watch the videos. Watch me make an ass out of myself sometimes. But the biggest thing that I see, and this is political, okay, is one party tries to pit one group against the other, all right? And they say they're trying to bring everybody together, but what they're actually doing is they're splitting the group. They are. And it's not with Trump, it's not over policy, it's over the man. And with Biden, now it's the age. I mean, not only the age, but we all can see that his mind isn't clicking. And we need somebody's mind that's really clicking. He's probably smarter and does better than me. But I don't know. I don't think I'd be a good president. Because I'd use common sense. And I'd just say, bullshit. You know what? It's bullshit. And it wouldn't mean whether it's because the Republicans want to see if I were president. I wouldn't care less whether you're Republican or a Democrat. I would try to befriend you and have you part of my group. But I'm not going to take, and if I'm a Democrat, do all Democrat and try to do all that whole agenda because that's what my party wants. That's why I'd never be elected president, because I would not vote party lines. I don't vote party lines. And I'll be honest with you right now, I am a registered Democrat. But I voted for Trump the past 2 years, the past 2 election cycles. And why is that? Because I don't vote party lines, and I vote for the person that I think will do best for the whole and not for a certain segment. And can you imagine what he could have got done in his first if they didn't have him Russia, and all this other bullshit that the Democrat Party was pushing over onto him? All these different trials and everything else. If that man was given the same level of help that every other president had, he would have been probably the top president. And hopefully he will be this time around. That's just my take. Because what I'm seeing now, with this shooting going on, this is very political. You know, they're saying he was registered Republican. All right. I'm a registered Democrat, and I vote Republican for Trump. I don't vote Republican. I vote for Trump. The other thing that I'm seeing is the loner, because people don't know how to communicate anymore. They tend to be more to themselves. And they could be easily manipulated. Yes. Because they so want to be liked or felt like somebody understands them. This is not defending the shooter. I do not defend anyone that has done that. School shootings, you name it. They're bad people, all right? But I always try to take a look, because you know how I am with relationships, is I'm trying to figure out what makes that person click to take them to that point. And 2 things come to mind. One is they're looking to end their life because they feel they can't take it on anymore. But they want to go out in glory. Now, if they want to just simply take out their life, you know, suicide or what have you, yeah, do that before you hurt somebody else. Let me rephrase that. If you are suicidal, get help, please. All right? And this is, you know, it's supposed to be a Democrat thing, right? Is you help the little people. You help the people that have mental health issues and stuff and protect their privacy and everything. You think that's the truth? No. I live in New York. It's a Democrat governor, pretty much a Democrat in all the cities and the agendas. And these guys do backroom deals. Probably all of them do, but especially New York. And in the cover of darkness, they slashed a lot of money that was supposed to go for mental health. And they shut down, facilities. They shut down access. So don't get me on my little pedestal and tell you how great the Democrats have done for mental health in New York. And who's running this country? By party lines, the Democrats. So, and it was all because of money. That's the sad thing, is that they needed money for somebody's pet project. So where do you cut? Well, in New York, if you're the governor, you cut in two places. Mental health. And use the idea that it's better to assimilate people into the general population than to keep them away. Well, sometimes keep them away is safer for them. So they don't do something like push somebody off a train station in front of a train. And this person had mental health issues. It's all because of money. They took the funding away from the mental health and put it towards their pet projects. Same thing they did with the prisons. They said, all right, let's do cashless bail, which I never got that one, because the poor people haven't got any money. Bullshit. It has bullshit written all over it. It's, let's start shutting prisons down because they're too costly. How did they get too costly? Because you took and gave more rights to the prisoners than you gave to the guards and to the general population. My family comes from a line of prison guards. And I've watched this over the years. Growing up, you had to be on your best behavior in prison, and you got to work out in the fields. And in that day and time, you had guards with shotguns surrounding the field, and you had the inmates doing the work. And I've done this video, I believe, before of I grew up around Dannemora. And Dannemora is a max. It's for the worst of the worst, right? But Dannemora was self-sufficient. They didn't get any state funding, but they raised their own dairy. They raised their own beef, pork. They had their farms. They raised their own vegetables and their own food. And they actually sold stuff to the general population and were in the blue. Same thing for the mental health. Growing up in this area, of the St. Lawrence County Psych Center, that's got 5 wings, and I think only one is open. Because the funding is no longer there. It's a state-of-the-art building. Beautiful. And I can remember when I first started visiting my wife over there, that at the time they had most of those wings open. And now, I think there's like 10 to 12 patients there. And there's no movement. So there's nowhere for somebody to go to get help. And the minute you talk to anybody about, nursing homes or rehab for broken bones and this and that, the minute mental health is mentioned, that facility will not allow that person in. So I like to kind of round this video out as one, I stopped watching a lot of TV. I mean, it's a downer. And I have a cell phone and I'm on the computer a lot on and off during the day. But at 3 o'clock, I turn all my devices off. I turn them off. I don't want to be interrupted by it. I've been on them during the day. I don't want nothing else to do with them. And I see so often that parents are, going fishing Saturday morning. My son handed his phone back to my grandson to play games and stuff like that on the phone to keep him preoccupied. What? When I was growing up and I was being taken fishing by my grandfather at his age, I didn't have a cell phone. And I was so giddy about being able to go out and fish that I tried to be on my best behavior so I could go again. Change of times, right? So parents have got to start being parents, real parents. Take your kids off the devices. Have them disconnect. Wean them off. Force. Teachers need to be teachers too. And not sell this political bullshit that, how does that student identify itself today? As a donkey? As a jackass? This is common sense. Says this is bullshit. Be a teacher and do what your job is, and that's to teach. Reading, writing, arithmetic, social studies, anything. Home ec. Not all this other garbage that's been allowed into the schools. And we need to all come back together and say, you know what? Just because my political party is this doesn't mean that I can't be friends with someone on the other side. Our nation became great because we all worked together. And the last time I can really remember working together was 9/11, where the whole country came together. And when we come together, we are unstoppable. But as long as they can keep us divided, we're just chasing our tails. And things won't get any better. So on that note, you guys have a great Monday. Give it some thought. If you're the age where you're with kids or grandkids, have them turn their devices off. If you're going fishing up in the Adirondacks, you don't need that friggin' cell phone. And once it lost reception, because you can't get reception up there, you start playing solitaire instead of enjoying looking for deer and stuff like that. Have a great Monday.